Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing really well. Uh, yeah, I've got a ton of updates and I'm going to try to get through a lot of videos today, maybe three or something like that. Um, so, I got some pretty good news. It's a joke. But as you can see, well, you can't really tell by now, but I haven't fixed up my beard today, even though it's Friday. It's actually Friday. What's the date today? It's Friday, the 4th of March. I just got back from Friday prayer here in Istanbul. And my trimmer does not work for some reason. I think it blew up, even though I have the American, and then I have the voltage thingy converter to make it so it doesn't blow up. And then I have something to convert the wire, the plug, or whatever it's called, to the Turkish plug, which is the European plug in general. Except for the UK. It doesn't work over there. They have a different one. And so it just didn't work. So we'll see what's gonna happen with my beard. It's gonna just we'll see what's gonna happen. But yeah, I hope it starts to work. Yeah, so I got my residence permit a bit ago. I got it on the 18th of January. It looks like, yeah, the 18th of January. Yep, I got it on the 18th of January. And boy, what I mean, that's when I applied at least. That's not when I got it. But I basically went there, and the system is here in Istanbul nowadays for foreigners. If you come in, just in case you're wondering, that you have to go to Fatih. So you have to go to the European side. We call it the other side here, and it's interesting. So I signed up many months before. I signed up maybe 2.5 months before. What happens is so you come here, right, and you have a 90-day permit to live. It's a visa, and if you're American, you pay $20. If you're Canadian, ironically, I mean, because usually Canada has a better relationship. At least that's what I've seen for some countries here in the quote-unquote Middle East. So Canadians have to pay $60. That's the last time I checked. There was this Canadian lady who was trying to get in. I saw her at the airport, and she was like, "How much do I have to pay?" And I was like, "Well, according to that sign, looks like you have to pay $60, and I have to pay 20. So I guess America has a better relationship with Turkey. I don't know." So I signed up, and you're supposed to apply to this system. It's this online system. You go to the website. It's all in Turkish. So if you don't have a friend helping you, unless you're fluent in Turkish, good luck. And then you have to fill out two forms. I'm telling this to people also, just in case you ever move here and you're interested in knowing this information. It might be of help. But also, just to tell you about my own interesting experience trying to get a residency or residence permit. What's it called? Residence permit. Uh, so after, and you can't fill out the form in English too, because you have an option English, because no one there speaks English. Trust me, I was there. No one there speaks English, except upstairs, downstairs, and thank you, goodbye, hello, there, here, little things like that. So I fill it out in Turkish, and I print it out, and I have my 3 copies, and that was a waste, by the way, because I only needed 1 copy. And then what happened is the day came, my appointment. It was maybe the 18th. Was it the 18th really? 19th. 19th, yeah, it was the 19th of January. 19th of January. So I go there, and my appointment's at 11 a.m., but I'm like, I need to be early. So what I did is I left my place here in Üsküdar at 8:15 a.m. I ran with all my might to the port to catch, and I got to the port at 8:20. It's pretty close. My ferry left at 8:30, and I arrived at the immigration office, or it's called the Emniyet, which is the police station, at about 9 a.m., which I thought was pretty good timing. What I did was I caught a cab, which I wouldn't do any other time, but it was my first time going there, and a cab cost me about 10 liras, so 10 Turkish liras. So, you know, I don't want to do the currency right now. So I get there at 9 a.m., 2 hours before my appointment, and they're on number 33. Now my number was number 159, so I was like, okay, it's gonna be a bit wait, but 2 hours. You know, I brought my iPod, so I have plenty of lectures. I have plenty of stuff to study. I brought my Kindle, I think, as well. So you know, I have reading material. I have stuff to do. I'd rather get early and just, you know, that's how I deal with the airport issue as well. However, they didn't call my number for a while. At about 12:15ish, they still didn't call my number. They weren't even close. And what ended up happening was, so you have this big screen. There's many seating areas all around the hallway in the big one. So I was sitting in the big one, and the numbers just stopped moving for the booths. And there's 18 booths, and it just stopped. I was like, strange. So I get up, and I'm like, hopefully no one takes my seat. And I walk around, I turn around the corner, there's nobody there. So they're on lunch break, and I was like, oh man. Um, that was really strange. They were on lunch break for quite a while. Um, and then I just waited. I didn't write this down, but I do believe that I ended up getting out of there around 2 or 2:30 p.m. So it's really a full day event. I mean, if you want to go there, it's a full day thing. And what happens at the end is they give you this little slip of paper after you pay a lot of money to get this residency permit thing. What is it? It says Türkiye Cumhuriyeti, the Republic of Turkey, yabancılara mahsus ikamet tezkiresi. And if you know Arabic, you'll see that this comes from Arabic. This yabancılar, that's foreigner, that doesn't come from Arabic. But mahsus, ikamet, and tezkire, all of these come from Arabic. So from these words, most of them are actually of an Arabic origin. That's very interesting. So if you know Arabic, again, it really helps you in Turkey. So they don't give it to you right away, and you have to pay. I think this was like 140 liras, so looking close to I don't know, $100 or something like that. It's not cheap, but I got it for 4 months until May 18th. That's when I have my residency permit till. It took me a full day. The people there were pretty rude to me. They were laughing at my Turkish. I mean, they could understand me, and I could understand them. So that wasn't the problem. But the problem was that they were laughing at how bad my Turkish accent is. Which, you know, it is bad. I'm not going to lie. But I thought that was kind of rude. But the good thing is that the first time is in Fatih, and the renewals nowadays can be done in your local district, so it's faster like that. Now, so they told me come on Monday, so I was like, okay. I went there on Monday, and again, this takes a full day. I go there, I try to get everything done, and they say, I come with that little slip of paper, and they're like, sorry, you're going to have to come back later. Oh, actually, they told me to come back Monday, and I came on Tuesday because I was like, I'll give it an extra day. They might be longer. They still weren't done, which was really annoying to me because it just takes so long to get to the other side and back, and just the ferry. And if you don't take a taxi, rather than it taking you 45 minutes, and that was me catching everything on time, you know, it could take you close to an hour, hour and a half easily, just to get there and then coming back. I mean, Istanbul's a huge city, and I'm close to the European side here, so. And that's, you know, for all friends out there and family members who are like, hey, go to this restaurant or go to this place. It's not as easy as you think it is to get around this city. I mean, it really takes a long time. And when you're on the Asian side like I am, you know, closer to the common people, closer to the natives, which is what I prefer, it's not the easiest thing. So they said come back on Friday, which I did. I went there on Friday, or maybe I waited an extra week. I don't know, because they leave it for 1 month. And finally, I got my residency permit, and I was so happy about it. But there was this really cool thing that happened. So on the way back, I get in the ferry, and there's this one guy who has this like suitcase. It looks very shady, like the movies. You know what I mean? The guy, yeah, imagine Matrix, and you know when he comes into the office building to save Morpheus, and he's like, "Please remove any metal items," and he just like whoosh, opens it up, and he's got all these guns, and he's got the big duffel bags. Well, this guy had a duffel bag, and he was wearing all black, and he looked very shady. You know, hair very short. You know, no facial hair, and he was just like looking. He just starts talking. And it's just the weirdest thing, and people are laughing because he just starts talking, and he's selling something, and I was like, what is this guy selling? And it was this peeler, right? And, you know, I know economy's bad and stuff like that, or maybe this is just an interesting way to market something, but he pulls out this veggie peeler thing that he was selling, and it was so weird because we were trapped. We really couldn't do anything. You're on a ferry. You're in the middle of the Bosphorus. What are you going to do? You can't run away. I mean, maybe you could go upstairs or something. I don't know if you had buddies or other people who were selling from the same company or if it's a private thing. But it was just so interesting because it was really intelligent. I got to give him credit for that. I couldn't go anywhere. I was sitting. It was hard enough to find a seat anyways. I don't want to get up and give up my seat. And so Whoa, lag. I just saw that lag. Sorry about that. You either turn up the volume on your iPod or your MP3 player, or you just sit there and listen. And the thing was, this was pretty cool. It was really cool. I mean, this peeler thing was sweet. I should have bought one actually. It wasn't that expensive. It was just like 3 or 5 liras. Um, yeah, I probably should have bought one, brought it home. Mama, you would have liked that. My mom would have probably liked that. Yeah, but it was just really cool because without having to go 1, 2, 3, you could easily just peel something very quickly and twist it around. Look, now I'm selling for him. That's how good of a salesman he was. But most of the people were just like trying to ignore him and stuff. But yeah, I was really surprised because at the end he was selling. I mean, he was selling. I mean, people were buying from all over, and that was just what was so surprising because in the beginning they were laughing at him. But I just thought it was such an interesting thing, and I'm glad I had that experience because I never would have seen that anywhere else. We're just in the middle. This guy starts selling. After he was done, he went upstairs because he probably could have done two in the time it took us to get from Eminönü, I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, hence the laughing at me from Turkish people, from that area until Üsküdar. It took us, it was enough time for him to sell two of them. Uh, the moral of the story is you can actually pay like a lawyer or something to get this done for you faster. Look at this, got my picture here. You can't smile for official pictures, and even though like in the rest of my pictures, I'm always smiling, driver's license, all of that stuff. I actually had to go and get a picture where I was like looking serious, and I had a little smile on there. I love smiling, as you know, but it's just very interesting. So this lasts me until the 18th of May, and it was difficult to get and a big headache, but totally worth it because I'm not illegal. Oh, one thing did happen. I forgot to say. So I actually, if you remember, I came into Turkey on the 19th of October. My appointment is on the 19th of January, exactly 3 months after. And I don't know if it's less or more than 90 days. So you get a huge fine. You can get kicked out of the country. I mean, it's serious stuff to be an illegal citizen. I don't like this term illegal. I heard this one girl present this poem. It was really nice at Michigan State University about, the why do you call us illegal and what does it mean when you call a person illegal. So I think it's really messed up. I'm aware of the implications there, but the guy at the immigration office, or he was trying to give me some stuff. He was like, "Wait a minute, you've been here too long," and I was like, whoa, 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 no, no, no. I signed up for your online, I told him, I was like, I signed up for your online system within the first month, and you told me, on the website it says you have to just sign up within 3 months, and I had to, I had to like argue a little bit there to get things moving, and I was like, look, it's your system, it's backed up, the first appointment I could get was this day, and maybe he expected a bribe. I don't know how it works here. In other countries, like Egypt, for sure, he would probably wanted me to slip him a bribe, which I don't want to do, obviously. So I didn't bribe him, thank God. But he let things go smoothly, although he was pretty darn rude, as were many other people. But it's all good. I just laughed and I kept speaking in my broken Turkish. So that is experience getting a residency permit, and then I'll tell you about some sightseeing in a little bit, which I did last week. All right, literally last week. Okay, take care, everybody, and assalamu alaikum.